Should be going live. There we go. Here we go. Awesome. Now let's do a quick little test. How is the audio? Does everybody hear me okay? And it takes a couple of seconds for everything to get going because we're streaming live here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In this YouTube Live, we're going to be doing the most common auto body mistakes that newbies make. And after that, we're going to get back into your Q&A, basic Q&A. But remember last time, guys, I said that I was going to Japan, right? And that I'll see you on here. If you guys missed it, excellent. You guys can hear me. In the last live stream, I said that I was going to Japan and all that. So how many of you guys want to see a quick little tour of where I'm at here in Japan before we get started? And also, just type in yes. Like I said, this is an interactive training. And I need to see your chat because there's no way for me to unmute people here. And it's just going to get crazy. So I will show you where I am here in Japan. I'll explain to you what's going on, where I'm at, and we will get started. Okay, so right now I'm in a place called Niigata, Japan. And this is basically 2 hours, maybe about 3 hours north of Tokyo. Okay, and I'm at my in-laws' place, and we have our own apartment here. So this is my little apartment. It's nothing crazy, right? Let me show you how the room. It's just a basic 500 square foot room. Okay, we have a little. It's very messy. Don't forget, I have a wife and 2 kids. They're upstairs right now, so I'm using this place as kind of like an office. So we have a little table here. We got a little TV. I'm using this as my work office. I have another office on the 4th floor, but I haven't got a chance to set that up yet. I basically just got here one night ago. So we just got here. So I'm still kind of jet lagged. Little couch here with a little table. I'll show you the kitchenette. I don't want to get in here yesterday because yesterday I got in here and it was the internet cut out in the kitchen. So this is basically like a little kitchenette, as you can see. Got a little full. Everything is small in Japan. The living quarters, the showers, the bathrooms, everything is small. Let me show you outside really quickly. Across the street, there is a big technical college. Okay, it's like a fashion institute and a technical college across the street. Let me open this. So as you can see, we got kids across the street. They're in the building. They're probably looking at us, but you can see the building that I'm in. All right, this is my wife's place. I'm on the 3rd floor, and they are all living upstairs on the 5th floor there. And like I said, I have another office on the 4th floor. They're doing some construction downstairs, but let me see. You can see kind of what it looks like across the street. Gloomy day today. Okay, but it's summer, so it's not cold. That's a good thing. It's cutting out. All right. Well, that was it. This is where I'm at. Doing the YouTube Live here from Japan. Pretty cool, right? All the way from Japan. It's actually 10:05 in the morning. I'm about 13 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time right now. How was that? Was that pretty cool, guys? Give me a little yes or no or whatever. Give me some feedback here. Video output low. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So you guys are going to get a little buffering. It says, hopefully the stream resumes. I did try to, I'm hooked up to the best internet here. It should be fine. It should be fine. You guys are getting this, right? Okay, excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so welcome. I'm super excited to be here with you guys again. Hopefully the stream is good. Yeah, no wireless coverage. It gets a little dead in there because the main router is actually on the fourth floor, and I'm on the third right now. So, but it's doing pretty good. I did one yesterday with buy and sell cars for profit, the live stream. So we are all good. Okay. So before we get started, just a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes. Can you guys just type in where you're from? I want to read some of your guys' locations out, where you're from. I'm in Japan right now, right? But type in where you're watching from, where in the world. Some of you guys may be in Australia or whatever. And also type in if this is your first time attending or second time or third time or whatever. If this is your first time, put first. More than once, just put more than once. So we got Orlando, we got Austin, Texas, Houston, Texas, Oregon, USA, Florida, Indiana, Pennsylvania, first time, Arizona, England in the house, second time, Mesa, Arizona, Missouri, first time, I think. First time for Mr. J. Stallard's Customs, North Carolina. Alex here from Dallas, Texas, VIP member. What's up, Alex? Thank you for getting on. Milwaukee. Sam says it's his first time out of Texas. Damon in the hood, number 41, all black. Augusta, Georgia, first time. UK, Kent. More than one. Dallas, Texas. A lot of Texas people. We got Austin, Houston, Dallas. A lot of people in Texas. A lot of Texans in the house. That's awesome. We got a couple of UK guys. No Australia, huh? That's pretty interesting. No Australia. Alfonso, first time he said. Cool. Thanks for writing that in, guys. Whoa, we got Colorado, Midland, Texas. A lot of Texans, man. That's pretty crazy. Magnolia, Texas. Dan Rogers. What's up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? Love your book. Dan, guys, everybody in here, Dan is a published author. He wrote a whole story about his life as in the military, and he sent me an autographed book. That was awesome. Thank you so much for that. We got Indiana. We want to fix up our horses. All right. So thank you guys for getting on. We're going to spend about 15 minutes or so on the main Q&A questions that the most common mistakes newbies make. And then we're going to go on 15, 20, 25 minutes or so, closing it out with your basic Q&A. We're going to go back and forth the Q&A. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We've been traveling so much. I got sick. Literally, I had to take some NyQuil last night. My nose wouldn't stop running. Mr. Mitchell, Michigan, Trinidad. First time from Trinidad, Austin, Texas, via Pearl City. Mahalo, brah. That's awesome. A-Rod, I didn't know you were from Pearl City. Everybody on here for the first time watching, I'm actually originally from Hawaii, born and raised on Oahu. And then I moved out to Dallas, Texas about 3 years ago. But right now I'm in Japan at my in-laws, my wife's place. My in-laws, my wife's place, they got the building here. No, I'm not here permanently. I'm here part-time. So it's pretty awesome, and it's a privilege to be able to travel the world and do stuff as well, right? Pretty cool. Santa Maria, California. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Let's get started. We got a nice full group today. I think the reason why is because I sent out a email broadcast a little before ahead of time. Next time I'll try to send one out about a Bradley and Ronnie have been doing an excellent job on Facebook. I know they are awesome. Those guys. I love those guys. And more awesome stuff to come. Sacramento, California, New Zealand. Awesome. New Zealand in the house. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so in the beginning of this, I asked a question. What do you think the most common auto body mistakes that newbies make are? Okay, so I'm going to go back up to the chat here, and we had people saying prepping, okay, not planning it out to make sure you get everything you need to do it right. Some people said sandpaper grits. Oh, no, that's what I say. I say people get the sandpaper grits all mixed up. And also some post-painting mistakes. Like after the paint job, people make some mistakes. And I want to go over some of these things with you over the next 10 minutes, the most common things, really quickly, and then we'll get into your Q&A, and I hope you guys like how all of that goes. All right? Paint masking, burning the paint. Yep, a lot of those things. Okay, so the most common mistakes are, of course, number one is prepping. Okay, prepping is the most important part when getting body work done. Okay, if you want to get a nice paint job, you have to make sure your prep is good. Okay, you want to make sure you prime over feathered areas. Okay, so say you feathered out some clear coat into your base coat with maybe a 320 grit. You feathered it out, right? You don't want to paint directly over that. You want to prime that. You want to make sure you seal it, you prime it, and then you block it out with a 400 grit. Okay, because that'll actually come through to your base coat, and you'll actually see those spots through your base and through your clear coat. All right, so prepping and priming over feathered areas. You want to make sure you always prime over your body work, your bondo areas. You want to make sure you always prime over metal. Okay, I notice a lot of people, even with me, right? When you sand around corners and cars and edges, you get down to the metal, all right? And that's normal. That happens, right? But what you have to make sure is that you prime those areas before you paint. You never want to paint a single stage enamel or a base coat clear over a little metal spot. Even though, say this is the corner of your car, right? Even though it's a little metal hanging out, you want to make sure you dust it and cover it with primer. Okay, it's very, very important because those little areas will start biting. Okay, and you're going to get little paint problems in those areas. So always make sure, that's the number one mistake, is people don't prime what they're supposed to prime. The other issue is not sanding with the correct sandpaper grits. Okay. I was talking to my buddy John Kosmowski, the founder of House of Color Paints, and when we were talking, I'm like, so what do you final sand with? He's like 400. I'm like, that's what I always final sand with. So, I used to tell him that I used to get people tell me, you got to sand it with 600, you got to final sand it with 800. The problem with that is there's not enough tooth in the sanded prepped area, okay, in your primer or in your paint or in your clear coat. When you're looking at a surface, say this is your paint surface, right? There's not enough sand scuff tooth for your new paint to stick onto it. All right, so 400 grit is actually the perfect sandpaper grit that you want to paint over. It's perfect for finishing over primers, and even if you're just going over clear coat, right? Because you could paint over clear coat directly, because clear coat is a great sealer foundation to base right on top of. You could base right over it if you want to. Okay, so you want to sand and finish with 400. Anything finer, you could end up with issues of, some people finish sanding with 1000 grit and they just put base with clear coat over that. The issue with that is they go to a car wash, right? Or you're using your pressure washer for your wheel wells or something, and you get onto the paint, it'll blow your paint right off. Okay, you do not want to finish sand with 1000 grit or 1200 grit. You want something that your paint is going to stick to. All right? You guys getting this so far? Are you guys liking this? Type it in. So we got people from Delaware, Kansas, Georgetown. We are live. Of course we're live. Ant Dog. All right, so you guys liking this so far? Okay, the other common mistake is awesome. The other common mistake is orange peel. Okay, when people paint, they complain of orange peel. Okay, and there are a couple of reasons why you get orange peel. Okay, the number one reason is, well, the number one thing to easily weed out is paint mixture. Okay, make sure you read the instructions at the back of your can and mix your paint correctly. 99% of the time, if you're doing base coat, clear coat, okay, your reducer, okay, your ratio for base coat is 50-50, okay, 1-to-1. If you have a pint of base, you want to make sure you put a pint of reducer in. That's 16 ounces. Okay, a cup is 8 ounces, a quart is 32 ounces. All right, so if it's just 1-to-1. If you have a cup of base coat, you want to make sure you fill a cup up with a reducer and you put that in and you mix it up. So you got a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's your base coat. And it's okay to have a little bit of orange peel on your base coat. All right, that's normal because when it dries, it usually levels out. Okay, when you're spraying, but if you notice a little too much orange peel on your base coat, thin it out a little bit more. Add a little 10% reducer in it, okay? And, you know, reducers, this is a whole nother topic, but reducers come in slow, medium, and fast, okay? That basically is your set time for your paint. So if you're in a hot environment, you want to use a slow reducer to give yourself and the paint a chance to flow out and dry. If you're in a colder environment, you want to use more of a medium reducer. If you're doing touch-ups, you want to use a fast reducer. If you're in mid-temperatures, 80 to 85 degrees, 75 to 85 degrees. This way, it gives your paint time to flow out. Okay. The other issue and the other reason why people get orange peel is not enough pressure when spraying. Okay, they're spraying at too much of a low pressure. You want to make sure when you're spraying base coat, you got at least 27 to 28 psi coming out of your gun at the bottom. Now, I'm not at the shop right now, so I can't show you like a live demo with my gun hooked up. But pressure coming out, right, at the gun dial, right, if you have a digital, you want to make sure that when your trigger is pulled, you can see 27 or 28 psi for base coat, okay? 27, 28 psi is good for base coat. You got enough pressure coming out to put your paint on the panel. When you're doing clear coat, you want to make sure you're at about 30 psi. At least 30 psi is a nice enough atomization. You're getting enough pressure coming out. And if you're using a pretty good gun, it's going to flow out nicely, okay? So that's another issue, not enough pressure out of your gun. And the other issue is you're not close enough to your panel. So say your spray is coming out like this, right? You want to be about 4 to 7 inches away from your panel, okay? And it all depends sometimes. The closer you are to your panel, the faster you're going to have to move because it's laying on so quick. The farther out you are, the more of a fan pattern you get, and you get to move a little bit slower, okay? A little bit slower. And always when you're painting, you want to hold your gun, okay, your fan pattern even with the panel, okay? Not like this, coming out like this, right? Even, okay? And you want to do a 50% overlay. 50% overlay, just like how I show you in the VIP course in my videos. 50% overlay is going to give you a nice coverage, and you always want to use the light to see that it's coming on glossy. If it's not coming on glossy, give it another pass, right? Don't be afraid, especially if you're on flat surfaces like a hood, trunk, or a roof. You don't have to be worry too much about overloading your clear or running because you're on a flat surface, right? When you're on your side doing doors and fenders and quarter panels, you have to worry a little bit, all right? Because you don't want to get that run, okay? And that's another issue too, is runs. But it's always better to have a run than dry, in my opinion, because you could sand out and buff out a run. Okay, is everybody getting this so far? You guys liking this so far? You guys getting this? So that's about it. Okay, that's about it. For the most common newbie mistakes is orange peel and stuff like that. So if you guys are just getting on right now, be sure to watch the previous section here. Just rewind back a little bit more to get into the content area. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up to live Q&A for about 15 minutes. And we're going to do some live Q&A with everybody and go from there. Okay? Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so let's see. We have, okay, can you use Fisheye to help? Yes, you can use a little bit of What's Up Sly, VIP member from Martinsville, Virginia. Yes, factory cars do have orange peel, and it's just that's just the fact of the matter. You're always going to get orange peel. Even factory cars get orange peel. But the more clear coat you lay on, the better flow you're going to get. And after the paint job is done, you could always go back, flat sand it, color sand it out with like a 2000 grit, and buff it out for a pro gloss. I mean, you go to car shows, all the cars, all custom hot rods, all custom jobs, okay, they get that flat mirror finish because it's color sanded and buffed, okay, by a professional. So all show cars go through the whole painting process, just like we show you how to do in VIP, and the whole color sanding and buffing process, just like we show you how to do. So yes, you could use a little bit of fisheye eliminator in your paint if you want to help with that, but usually fisheye is caused by contamination in the air. So if you have a mechanic shop next door to you, or if you've been using some WD-40 around the house, before your paint job, that's the usual cause of fisheye. When you're getting these little air bubble fisheyes in your paint, and it's like, what the heck is all of this, right? It's usually because of a contaminated surface. All right, so be sure to use your wax and grease remover before wiping down your panels and all that stuff. So let's go ahead here and let's get him back. Let's start answering some Q&A. Okay, I airbrush. Do I need an intercoat, or can I mix my candy in the clear and spray it as a final clear? You could do it either way. You could do it as an intercoat. And guys, for the people on here, an intercoat is basically like a clear base coat. All right, so you could basically put in your pearls, your flake, or a different color tone into an intercoat and do your airbrushing and then clear coat on top of that. I would actually clear coat on top of that. All right, I wouldn't do it as an all-in-one. Candies are not made to be sprayed on and that's it, because candy is a polyurethane. Okay, it's basically like an enamel, polyurethane paint. Okay, so you're always going to want to clear coat on top of that. Do you ever want to sand base coat orange peel? By Dan Rogers. You can if you run it and if you're getting very bad orange peel, but usually you don't have to. Okay, if you're getting a little bit of orange peel on your base coat, it's usually not that bad of an issue. You want to load it up with clear coat and it fills it all in. Okay, and it just turns out to be amazing. Clear coat will fill all that and enhance the color, and you won't even see it. So, the next time I paint a car, what I'll do is I'll make a video and I'll show you what acceptable orange peel is and to clear over, and what non-acceptable orange peel looks like. All right, I'm going to purposely do like a thick base coat in part of a fender or something to show you what it looks like. All right, I think that'll be a good one to help you guys out with. Okay, great. Airbrush. Do I need intercoat? Okay. What are the steps to get best polishing results? Okay, well, Mike, what you want to do is you make sure after your clear coat is done, you have to color sand and buff. So you could start color sand. You could start sanding with a DA or by hand with a 12 to 1500 grit sandpaper, and then you want to finish off with a 2000 to 2500. And then you want to hit it with the wool pad with an overall compound. We use the Meguiar's. And in VIP, I show you exactly what we do. Mike, are you a VIP member? Because we have complete step-by-step videos that show you the whole process on video. So be sure to check that out if you're a VIP member. And then after that, you go with the foam pad to get the Pro Gloss. Epoxy primer over light flash rust. Is that okay? That's perfectly fine. As long as your rust is sanded out, all right? I would treat it with a little bit of vinegar water, 50-50 mix. Sand it out again, let that dry, sand it out, and then epoxy primer over it. Then you could do your body filler or glaze putty on top of that epoxy primer. And then finish it up and then primer on top of that again. Okay? How good is using polyester primer than 2K primer? Eloy, it all depends. You know, polyester primer is great. You know, it's a great filler primer. And it's a good finishing primer to basically paint base coat right over. All right, it all depends on your budget as well. You know, if you want to get a more inexpensive 2K basic filler primer, that's fine. If you want to use a polyester to fill, polyester primer is more for filling. So if you have a lot of body work, maybe you're doing a complete door of a classic, and the whole thing was you know, rusted, pitted, and you have like a whole area of body work, and you want to put 3 heavy coats of polyester, that's perfectly fine to do that. You know, polyester is good for going over a lot of body work, a lot of surface rust, to then give you a foundation to block sand, get everything flat, ready for another coat of polyester or a sealer, right? A primer sealer. Or if it's filled enough and you got it to where you want it, you could basically put your base coat right over that. Okay? What Barry says, what polish can take out haze after buffing? So if you see a haze while you're buffing, it could mean that you haven't buffed enough with your wool pad. All right, it could be that you haven't melted your clear coat enough with your regular compound. That's where you're getting a haze, because it should be pretty glossy after step 1. All right, step 1, we use our foam, our wool pad, which is our yellow pad. See, if I was in the shop, I could show you these things. And then it gets glossy, right? Step 2 is to use your swirl mark remover with your foam pad to basically bring the brilliance out. Once it's looking nice and brilliant and it's just popping, right? Then you go over it with the spray wax. I like to use the spray wax. I use something called Magic. Okay, no, Wizards. Awesome stuff. And I just spray it on and then wipe it off with a microfiber and just polish it up like that, and it comes out amazing. Okay, and again, we have all of this in the VIP area, so don't forget to check out learnautobodyandpaint.com /VIP offer to learn more about what we do in VIP for you right over here. Okay, and let's see. Boulder, Colorado. Okay, here's a good question. Awesome, Alex. We actually just raised the prices of VIP because of, you know, we're going to be doing more of these live streaming videos. Okay, let's see. This is a good question here. Is it bad? Matt is saying, is it bad to spray the first coat of clear on wet? Okay, now, this is something that every painter has their own philosophy on, okay? You'll have painters that like to paint like that. You'll have painters that like to put a tack coat on, followed by 2 medium to wet coats. I've tried both ways, okay? I used to paint by going first a tack coat around the whole car, so it's basically tacky, right? It's not glossy, it's not on wet, it's not even on medium wet. It's just like a tack, like a dust coat, right? And then you'll go over with 2 medium wet heavy coats and then done, okay? I've done it that way with excellent results, and I've done it the other way where your first coat, you spray your first coat like it's your last coat. I've done that as well, and I know painters who do that as well. I have not really seen a difference. So it's personal preference on what you want to do. I like number 2 because you basically go around the car twice and you're done, right? Instead of doing a tack coat and then going around twice, you're going around the car 3 times. The other way, if you spray 2 medium to heavy wet coats from the very beginning, you're done in 2 coats, right? You got your 2 passes around the car, you're done with clear coat. You let that dry, and if you're a nut, you can go ahead and put 2 more coats of clear on that after sanding it out with about 1500 grit. the next day. Or you could basically color sand and buff that out, because that's way more clear than you're going to get on any factory car. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, Alex says, hey, nice to see you. I want to know if I have to paint the hood. What do I blend it to, or can I just paint the hood? It all depends on what you want to achieve, Alex. If you want to basically blend it, okay, to make sure you can't even see to trick the eye, then you have to blend your hood into your fenders. So you would mask up the rest of the car, leave your hood and fenders open, okay? And when you're basing the hood, you do your base, and then you just base the top of the fender lightly. Don't even hit the sides, okay? Don't even hit the sides, and you could just clear coat everything in there. Texas, we do 5 coats of clear. Yeah, so whatever your fancy. You know, you want to put 5 coats of clear, you could put 5 coats of clear on it. I mean, to me, that's overkill. But when you're getting into the custom zone, 4 coats is average, right? You're doing your 2 coats, you're letting that dry, then you sand that out, and then you could wait a week or 2, and then you put 2 more heavy coats of clear on top of that, color sand and buff that, and you got a deep gloss looking paint job. I mean, the gloss isn't going to change from 2 coats to 5 coats. Your gloss isn't going to change, but if you're doing custom stuff with different shades of paints, metallics and pearls and candy, then the depth of paint, is going to change, right? Your paint job is going to look deeper, okay, because you have that extra clear coat that's bringing it out even more. You guys getting this so far? Okay. Ant Dog says bodywork is the most common to me because a painter knows you can't paint over bad bodywork. Absolutely, and this is why it comes down to, you know, common mistake number 1 is prep. You have to make sure your prep is good. You know, make sure your prep is good, then the paint job will come out nice. Okay, so that's why it's important really block sanding out your body work, making sure all of that is flat, because it's a bad thing to have a finished paint job and then you see an island, you know, a bodywork lump. Like, what the heck, right? All right. Everybody liking it so far? Should we continue? We're on about 32 minutes. I say another 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A, and we will call it a night. Pretty large audience on here tonight. Hope you guys are liking it. Is everybody liking this so far? Just type in the chat. Give me some feedback. Say, yeah, I'm liking this, Tony. I am thirsty. I am going to get a drink of water really quickly because I am thirsty. Excellent. We had a question on here from the last time. Somebody was asking about getting jobs, marketing your own auto body and paint business. And honestly, I think it's a little too much to cover on a non-scripted webinar like this, a non-scripted Q&A like this. That would be something that I need to sit down and write out and formulate for you, okay? Because if I just throw it out here, it's going to be so unorganized and not hard to consume, but it's just going to be all over the place. I think we're going to miss a lot of the big points. So what I want to do is I want to do a focused call, a focused topic on that. I'm going to record it. I'm going to have it transcribed, and I want to create a document and maybe a couple sets of videos for you guys on how to market and start your own auto body and paint business. It's going to be a separate program in itself, but I think it's going to be very, very beneficial for the guy in his garage who just wants to get started and make a couple $1,000s a month doing side jobs in auto body and paint. Does that sound like something you guys in here would be interested in? That wasn't the topic of this call, but maybe next week we will make it that topic, and I'm going to have to actually write some things down so I can look at them while I do the call with you, because just, you know, top of mind, it's going to be very hard for me to do. I have to actually think about it, okay, and plan it out on how I would do it on how I did it when I first started, and what to use nowadays as far as social media, because it's so big out there. You can easily get jobs nowadays, I think, because of social media. And everything is the word of mouth business. Once you get into the auto body and paint, I mean, everything is word of mouth when you think about it. But auto body especially is word of mouth. I mean, I can't tell you how many jobs I got from friends seeing their friend's car, asking who painted that. Because once you have a friend who's into cars, their friends are into cars, their friends are into cars, and it just goes on, right? It can get ridiculous. So once you have the credibility of someone that does good work, okay? And if I were you and you're getting started in this, I would be going the extra mile on every job that you do. Meaning, if you're not charging the person for color sanding and buffing the finished product, color sand and buff it to make it look nice. This is how you're going to get repeat business. Okay? Every car that I used to do when I worked on for customers, I detailed. If I didn't detail it myself, I would send it to the detailer across the street for 50 bucks, pay it out of my pocket, and have it detailed. Okay? I would always vacuum the car quick, wash it out quick, clean up the tires, make the car look like a different car from when they dropped it off, even if all you did was paint the fender or paint the hood. Not a lot of places do that. Once you start providing service and value like this to people, they're going to start coming back. They're going to start telling their friends, because everybody knows somebody that needs their hood painted or needs a little scuff painted. And I'm telling you, once you do this, you're going to always get business. And you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to schedule people, like, oh man, like maybe in the beginning you said, I only want to do one job a week. You're going to start getting 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs a week. You're going to have to start upping your prices. Right? And people will gladly pay for that. And it's okay you don't have to be perfect when first starting out. Okay? You can charge people a little bit cheaper, like even family members. Just say, yeah, I'm getting started. Learn on family members or friends' cars. I mean, you can always redo the job. Okay? So even if maybe the first job or two you don't make much money, you make a couple of $100 or whatever, it's always good to get that experience, because this stuff comes from actually doing. Okay? Yeah. Me getting on the call with you and teaching you, and you guys going through my VIP program and watching the way I do body work, watching the way I sand, getting all the insider tips and tricks is awesome. But it's only awesome once you start applying it to your own projects and into the real world. That's when you're really going to learn how to do things. All right? You guys getting this so far? Is this making sense? Do you see yourself doing this? Will this work for you? Come on, give me some feedback. I need some feedback here. Give me some feedback. Are you guys liking this? Anyway, I painted my bathroom. It came out nice. Okay. Okay, great. Excellent. Excellent, guys. Okay, great. Yeah, don't take 6 months to complete small projects either. Yes. So what I will do is I will next week, let's do a live call that talks all about the business of auto body. And what I want you to do, for all of you guys that are on right now and that are interested, okay, come back to this video in about an hour, because after we end this live call, YouTube is automatically going to post it to my newest videos. So watch the video. You don't have to watch the video again, but just go back to the video and type in your most burning question about starting not an online business, an auto body business. See, I also teach how to start online businesses too. So that's the other thing. But write down your most burning question about marketing, or how to treat customers, or how to get referral business, or what social media to use, or whatever your questions are on that. Like some of you guys may have a specific question that I'm not thinking about. Go back to this video and just type it in below on the comments area. so I have something to work with and feed off of for the next live one that we do. So, yes, absolutely. Hey, Tony, let's do a test panel from scratch to show the newbies. Yes, I actually have all of that in VIP. And aren't you a VIP member? Anyway, for those of you on here, and the first time, how many newbies on? How many first time people watching me live right now? Just put first timers. Just put first timer. I want to know how many people are on here. First time, you've never seen me or heard of me before. This is your first time on live with me. Anybody? Ant Dog, you should check out the new project we did for the Dodge. The Dodge that we just did, the Dodge Ram project in VIP, and the motorcycle project that we did in VIP. Right? We have those videos uploaded in VIP, and everything is we have over 100 hours of step-by-step videos in VIP. Okay? So check that out. So for all you newbies on here, first timers, go to this URL here, learnautobodyandpaint.com. Okay? You can download a free auto body manual, and after you hit that page, I'm going to hit you with a special offer to join VIP today at a special, incredible price. So if you're interested, check that out. Check out all the information that you'll get in VIP. Let me know what's going on. And next week, we will talk about the business side and how you can start off with your own business with auto body and paint. All right? How to market yourself. How many of you guys would be interested in that and also interested in a done-for-you website? Like, what if I was able to hook something up for you where you can get your own website, professional looking, branded to yourself, whatever you want, decide to do your business name, we'll custom do you a logo. Of course, if we get into that, it's going to cost more money. But I have all of these resources available for me. Like, I can help you create a website like that. I can help you get online super, super easily. Create a custom logo for yourself super easily. I can do all of that. It just depends on what level do you want to come in at. Okay? Need more marketing advertising. Well, if you're into marketing advertising, you definitely need a website. Okay? You definitely need a website for people to come and check out your services, check out some of your prices, how to contact you, check out some before and after photos of the work that you do, and all that other stuff. Okay? So next week we'll get into that. The week after that, I think maybe we'll get into some spray gun information. I don't know. But that's basically it. And that would be awesome. All right? So it is Tony from learnautobodyandpaint.com. Yes, no problem. And go ahead here, Learn Auto Body and Paint, download the free manual, how to get a small business loan for auto body. Okay. Sada's a great gun. But I like to use the Warwick. Anyway, thank you everybody for getting on tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video, share it. Thank you so much. And I will see you on next week about the same time. And always think about more questions and stuff, so when we come on next week, we can get to your Q&A as well. All right? Hope all is well. Have a great weekend. I know it's Thursday there in the U.S. For me, it's Friday. And domo arigato. Do itashimashite. So I will see you guys on next week. Same time, same time. All right? 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like the video, share it with your friends, tell everybody you know about it if they want to come on and learn more about this stuff. And I'm in Japan right now. I'm in Japan. Here is outside. All right. And what I'll do is I'll shoot some homemade footage video, and I'll make a custom video and I'll send you guys a link. Or I'll put it up here on the YouTube channel so you guys can see kind of what it looks like in Japan, what I'm doing. Maybe I'll take a video of eating some sushi or something. That would be cool, right? Like eating some sushi and some miso soup and all that stuff. All right. So I will see you guys next week, same time. Check the email for a 1 hour to half hour notification before we go live. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you next week. Cheers. Oh, don't forget to go here to grab your free book if you are a complete newbie and you want an auto body book. Cheers out. Peace.